Hi everyone, this is Beatrix. I'm very happy to be here, obviously, to talk to you about sleeping your way to success. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait a couple of minutes before I get going. I do have my phone, so I'm going to be checking in through the phone because that way I can just focus on either talking or collaborating with you through the comments box. So I'm just going to check in to see who has joined us and if there is any questions that you would like me to address later on. I did post that earlier, so let's see if there is anything particularly that you would like me to address, because obviously I want you to walk away with important lessons and tips so that you can start changing your relationship with sleep and the way that success looks like in your life. So it's now 3 o'clock. What I'm going to do is I am going to get going and just check in every so often and see who's around, who's joined us. If you're watching the replay, obviously you can still join the conversation after and post any questions that you have. Some of you, most of you will not know me, but I'm always open to questions. I'm always curious about your situation, where you are with your sleep, and how I can help and support you to actually move forward. So let's get going. Now that it's hit 3 o'clock, that's in the UK. That's 2 a.m. Eastern time. It's beautiful here in the UK. We've got a gorgeous sunny day. It's a beautiful day, so I'm really glad to be sitting in my living room, comfortable on the sofa and sharing my top tips and tools with you guys. So let's get going. So what do I mean by success, and how can you do that through actually sleeping? So every one of us have a different description of success. So I want you to take a couple of seconds and just really think about what it means to you. What does success mean to you personally? Is it perhaps spending time with your loved ones? Is it that you have a certain size of business? Is it that you feel peaceful inside? So what is it for you? What does success look like for you? And sometimes we're quite far away from it, but we have a goal of where we want to be, and we have a goal of what success will look like in a couple of years' time, for example. So I just want you to check in with yourself and just really think about what does that look like for you. Now that you've thought about it, I want you to just post a couple of comments below, if you're happy to share, obviously, but it will be great to see what success means to you personally. Success for me means that I still have all the things that I love doing in my life. My hobbies, for example, I like horse riding, so I recently started going back to it again. Success means that I can spend time with my loved ones, and that could be friends. My family lives back in Hungary, so they don't spend time with me in the UK, but you can still, I can still spend time with them over Facebook or Skype, have a conversation with them, and really making time and having time to have those conversations with people. Success for me means that I can help other people. I can share my knowledge, I can share what I believe in and what I'm passionate about, which is obviously helping people to sleep better at night. And that applies for me as well. So for me, having the time to really achieve enough during the day, but also have enough time in the evening to relax, to get ready for bed, and to sleep really well and sleep enough hours. These are some of the things that success means to me. And I think in today's world, everything got much faster, and often people put their sleep not quite to the top of their priority list. So this might be one of you who's watching this. Are you really truly resting? We all get very productive during the day. We all got, we go after our work-related goals. But are you able to take time out to really relax and reconnect with what matters to you, and sit peacefully and have a great conversation with someone? So again, just take a little time to think about what it is that matters to you the most, not just from the business side of things, but from the personal side of things as well. Do you have time to be able to do those things? And I would love this to be a conversation. So if you've got any comments, just put them in into the comments below. I'm just going to check and see if who else has joined us here. Okay, so Katie, hi Katie, and Peaceful Inside. Okay, have time to do the things that I want to do. Time with loved ones, definitely. That's from Chandra, sorry about that. Yeah, so it means something different to all of us. And so how can we really truly be successful? So some of you might know my story, but I'm just going to briefly tell you a little bit more about me, and why am I the person who can talk to you about sleep, and why am I someone that you should listen to. So originally I'm from Hungary, and I moved to the UK when I was in my early 20s, and I come to live in London. And obviously London, big city, there's so many different things to do. It's literally a 24-hour city. There's something you can do at any time of the day. And so, as we generally do in our 20s, I went for it. I had a good job, and after work we used to go out. I used to enjoy all sorts of different things, going out to cinema, socializing, you name it. Because I love being around people, I was pretty busy in the evenings as well. And I used to get home really, really tired. But I didn't really think about it because, it was just that it was part of life. Everybody complained about being tired, but nobody really did anything about it. And I got to the point where my health started deteriorating. I developed psoriasis, I developed acne, partly because of my eating habits, but partly also because I wasn't actually waking up with energy. I wasn't able to handle all the things that life threw at me at the time. And it got so bad that during the night I used to actually wake up with bleeding nose. And some of you might be familiar with that feeling of really, really being exhausted. But that moment when I had bleeding nose at 3 o'clock in the morning, it really scared me. And that was the time when I actually gone on the journey to discover what makes me tick, what makes me wake up refreshed, what makes me feel like I'm living, and I'm truly, truly living. I'm truly awake, switched on and living. And that wasn't going out every night and staying up late. So that's where I've gone on the journey to discover the different tools and techniques that worked for me. And that meant, first of all, seeking medical help, because I thought that something was actually physically wrong with me. And so I reached out to, we call them general practitioners here in the UK, and he suggested I take sleeping pills. But that wasn't something that I was interested in doing. I didn't think that was a fix to my problem. I didn't think that that's going to actually help me. And again, some of you who really truly struggle with sleep and you've seen medical or seek medical help, you can probably relate to that. That's generally the first thing they tend to suggest is sleeping pills, which can help, but it's not a long-term solution. And so day by day, little by little, I started improving my sleep. Therefore, I started improving other areas of my life as well. And this is where I really truly understood what living, and truly being awake and truly being switched on means. So this is part of my journey, and I'm really glad that I've learned so much about it. And obviously, as time gone by and people seen the change that happened in my life, they started asking me about what have I done to turn my life around. I've lost quite a bit of weight, my skin cleared up, I had a lot of energy. People didn't see me drinking coffee anymore. They didn't see me reaching out for chocolate biscuits at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to pick myself up. And I think people started to get curious. And this is how I got to today, where I help people to turn their relationship around with their sleep and improve it and be successful during the day and reach their goals. So I am the creator of the Sleep Deep method, which is basically looking at all our 7 areas of our life, which wraps around our 24 hours. And if you actually think about sleep is almost in the middle of everything. It wraps around our entire day. It helps us to close a day, and waking up in the morning, it helps us to start the day. So what I want you to think about next, and write in the comment box, is what do you think affects your sleep the most? Is it your emotions? Is it that you've got so many things to do? Is it that perhaps your environment is loud? Or what is it for you, basically? What is it that really can disturb your sleep? A lot of my clients go through times when they find it really, really hard to switch off. And that's the bit that causes them the most issues. Some of my other clients, they just wake up really tired in the morning and not being able to be productive. So it's more about during the day, they're not being able to be productive. So again, just let me know, which area of your life do you think affects your sleep the most? And I'm gonna wait for a couple of more comments if it comes through. If not, I'll just carry on. But I really would like you to think about that, because when we want to be successful and we truly want to achieve all those things that we want, our sleep is a very, very big part of it. Because when you're not rested, you're not as productive. You might be distracted a lot easier. You get tired. Your brain doesn't quite function and focus the same way. You might feel like you're constantly hungry. So one of the other things that can happen is your body craves more energy. And generally, a lot of the times, what happens is people reach out to eat sugary things or chocolate or obviously coffee. I've been there, I totally understand it, but there is always another way. So Chandra is saying winding down my thoughts at night. So that's definitely one of the things that sleep is affected by. So to be able to give you value during this half an hour, what I would like to do is just give you a couple of tips of how you can truly be successful through sleeping well and through taking your sleep to a whole new level and transforming it into this amazing couple of hours where you are really truly rested, really truly peaceful at wherever you are in life. You're able to let go of all those things that might be going around in your head during the day, the worries, the stresses, and wake up truly awake and truly switched on. So the first thing I always start with my clients is helping them to discover how many hours of sleep do they need. And I get this question all the time. So everybody asks me, is it 7 or 8? every single person has a different number, depending on various different things that happen to them during the day. So how much energy does their body get, how nutritious food they eat, how much water they drink, do they do any exercise, emotions, for example, like what kind of emotions do you go through the day? Generally, if you have negative emotions, it's going to affect you in a way that you don't feel as fulfilled and you don't feel as energized during the day as you feel when you have really positive emotions. And what we basically do is we go through what I call a sleep diary and keeping a sleep diary. And by really looking at exactly what happens to you during the day, you're able to establish what are those things that truly affect it. Is it that your mind is racing? And if that's the case, then one of the things I'll share later on is being able to switch off. And obviously your brain doesn't switch off completely, but it does switch off from the racing thoughts. And it can switch off from the racing thoughts so that you can rest well and you can go to bed peacefully, no matter what happened during the day or no matter what happens tomorrow. No matter what kind of things you're going through. It's being able to leave the day behind and being okay with that. And just gonna check in again. Chandra is saying if she doesn't get 7 hours sleep, definitely feel it. Yes, I can totally agree with you. But for some people, it's actually more. I've met people who functioned better on 8.5, and even 9. And our society now almost tells us that we shouldn't, but I would encourage you guys all to actually explore what is it that you really truly need. What is the number that you truly need? And what is that number that makes you feel alive in the morning and totally switched on, ready to take on the world, ready to take on all those challenges that might come to you during the day. Both the good things and the not so good things, because we do come across challenges and that's okay. So that's one of my basic tips that I want to leave you with, is figure out how much you need. And how you can do that is looking at what affects it, what affects your sleep, what keeps you awake at night, or what makes you wake up in the middle of the night. So for example, some of the things that was for me is I've always been a thinker. So when I used to go to bed, I used to basically go through every single thing that happened to me during the day, going around, literally around and around in a circle, revisiting everything that happened to me. And often revisiting it in a negative way, because I was thinking, could I have done it better? And almost never enough. It was never enough what I was doing. It was always something that, I personally strive for being a better version of myself all the time. But at that time of my life, it really, really made it negative and almost it made it worse, because I kept on going around and around, wanting to solve things that already happened, that there was nothing I can do about it, and that I really truly needed to live in the past. And that is an element that comes up with all the time. It's the switching off, and truly, truly be able to switch off, leaving things behind. And this is quite challenging for a lot of my clients, because generally I tend to work with people who are quite similar to me. They want to achieve things, and I think most of you will relate to this, because you're in this group and you are all striving for something, either growing your business or generally business ventures, or just being a better version of yourself. So you will relate to this. So when you get to bed, what are the things that you think about? Do you think about the negative things that happen during the day? Or do you think about positive things that happen to you? And often that can feed the kind of sleep that you have. if you're always thinking about perhaps a little bit more negative things, then it will keep you awake longer. And that I can totally relate to, because I used to do that too. But when you go to bed relaxed, when you leave things in the past, then you'll be able to switch off faster. So some of the things that so Chandra is saying my ideas take over my brain. Yes, some of the times it's actually being excited about something, truly really looking forward to something. And how do you switch that off when you're excited about something? I had a couple of exciting things happen in the last couple of weeks, and it was, it was playing on my mind because it is great. So one of the other tools I would like to share with you guys is your ability to switch off. And that's a skill. That's a skill that anybody can learn, absolutely anybody. And there's a couple of elements of the switching off process that I can leave you with. One of them is to actually give yourself time before you go to bed, and either journal or just sit somewhere quiet and just really allow your thoughts to race that time, rather than leaving it till you get to bed. Just taking that time out for yourself to really relax, switch off before you hit the bed, before you hit the pillow. And one of the things, for those of you who like to work, take your laptops into your bed, please don't. I think it's a really important thing to do, to separate things. So leave your work outside of your bedroom, because otherwise your brain is more likely to actually engage with it overnight as well, and keep going around and around in a circle, and keeping you awake at night. So leave things outside of your bedroom, because it's really going to help you to create a sleep sanctuary where you can go and truly rest, so that you can wake up in the morning ready to conquer the world, ready to do all those exciting things that you want to do. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is something that we do all the time, but we don't quite do it as well as we could, or as in a way that it really helps us. And that's breathing. So how many times did you hear from different places that you should be using your breath to switch off or calm your mind? I'm sure you guys have heard it before. I keep hearing it all the time, and I use it with my clients as well. So when you slow down your breathing, your body is not able to do anything but match that. Physiologically, psychologically, breathing is an excellent tool to really calm your mind before you go to bed. And this is one of the elements of meditation and mindfulness, is really focusing on your breathing. But sometimes people find it hard to follow like a meditation exercise. So it's a very simple thing you can do. When you basically breathing for a count of 5, holding your breath for a count of 5, and breathing out for a count of 5. Now, for those of you who are not used to breathing properly, this can make you go dizzy a little bit, so be careful. And if you can't do 5, just start with 3, 3 and 3, or whatever you are capable of doing, rather than going dizzy or anything like that. And what that does, it's going to slow everything down. It's going to get you ready for bed. And with my clients, what I suggest them to do is to do that during the day as well. Do it a couple of times, not just once a day. If you want a prescription, 3-4 times a day. Take 3 or 4 minutes out and just literally do the breathing exercise. And what it will help you to do is actually, it's going to help you to switch off, calm your mind. It's going to help you to make better decisions. You know, when you've got a really, really big decision to make and you need to consider all the options, this exercise will really help you to calm your thoughts, calm your mind, and get really clear on what is it that you will need to do. Either to say yes, either to say no, or maybe explore it and not rush into a decision and just explore it a little bit further. So that's the number 2, is breathing exercise, and keep practicing that during the day, because it really does help and your brain will recognize it. It will become your bedtime routine or part of your bedtime routine, and your brain will then be able to connect that with switching off and resting as well. So so one of the other things Chandra said is how I could have done things better in the day. So yes, it's evening is generally a time for reflection for most people, because that's the time when you kind of stop doing things. And that's exactly why sometimes it actually keeps us awake at night, because that is the only time that your brain or your head can roam around and just go free and explore wherever it wants to go. And obviously that will be both positive and negative, but that's why taking certain things like a pre-bedtime routine into your schedule, it's really going to help you to calm your mind for the evening. And the other thing I wanted to share about improving your success rate during the day and really getting to where you want in life is saying yes and saying no. So saying yes to the things that actually going to take you further and take you closer to your goals, closer to that description of success that we talked about earlier, and saying no to things that doesn't. I often take a moment before I say or commit to something, because I'm one of those people. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. If I said yes to it, then I will do it, because I will honor my commitments. And often that's why I take time out before, just to pause for a moment. I often do the actual breathing exercise. Just take a minute or two, just really breathe and decide, is this something that I'm super excited of doing? I really, really want to do it. Or is this something like, maybe perhaps it would be good, but, not very exciting, or, not really interested in. So a lot of my friends know that of me as well. Like if, for example, I get an invitation to something that actually I'm truly not really interested in, and it's not something that spending quality time with my friend, it's just going to be watching something like a film, for example, then I'll say no to it, because I'd rather spend an hour sitting down, having a cup of tea with someone, having a proper conversation, than going to see something that I'm not super excited about. And I don't obviously offend people, but I make it very clear, even to myself, what is it that I truly, truly want to spend my time on. And that can be a very big part of creating success, is choosing what we spend time on. Choosing what are those things that we fill each and every day with. Is it things that move us forward, or is it things that we just say yes to because we're expected to say yes to, or because we must do them? Obviously, I understand that sometimes work commitments will have to be honored, but there's still generally flexibility about not spending every single evening doing something that is work related, for example. Having a bit of fun, really taking time out for you to do something that you really want to do. And to some of you who will say, I'm too busy, I can't. Of course you can. Of course you can carve time out. Just really think about where are those little pieces of time, a couple of minutes here and there, that you can carve out for you. Even if it's just sitting down, having a cup of tea, and not doing anything else, just looking out of the window, or going for a short walk, or being outside for a few minutes, and really just taking that time out for you so that you can make better decisions. And I think okay, so there's no more questions, so that's fine. I'm just gonna carry on then. If you do have any questions, just let me know, because we're gonna be wrapping up now, because I've only got half an hour. But the last thing I want to leave you with is productivity during the day. And that is one of the biggest elements of me working with clients, is getting them super productive. And that doesn't mean doing so many things, it just means very focused. It means getting focused with the things that you really, really need to do. And some of you might be familiar with the urgent versus important and so on concept, but it's really getting clear with that. Are you spending time on things that you're spending time on because you're just filling your time, or are you really truly spending time on things that are really important to do and that will drive you towards your success and having that life that you thought about at the beginning of our almost online conversation? And taking time out for the things that really matter and perhaps challenges you. So for example, one of the things that challenges me is doing Facebook Lives, because I love having a conversation. So often Facebook Lives have a different dynamic, but I still do them because it is important for me to help people like you to improve their sleep, to improve their productivity. And in today's day and age, it is something that is part of business. So I needed to learn to almost get over myself and just do it. And just, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not, absolutely spot on, even if I pause for a minute, even if I might make a mistake here and there, but I'm still doing it because I still want to be able to reach people and help them. And a lot of you, again, who run businesses who about service to other people, we relate to that. So really thinking about where I spend my time on. And that means not just from the business perspective, not just from the work perspective, but actually things that serve you as well as a human being. So often I tell my clients, especially if they run their businesses, to separate themselves from the business. So there is the business and there is you in the business, but the two does not equal each other. You as a person, is an individual person, almost separate from your business. So sometimes if you feel like perhaps you're punishing yourself for not doing as much as you could, come on, give yourself a break. Of course we could do more, we could all do more, but we only got 24 hours. We only got 24 hours that we have to fit all the things in. That's the time we are given. And that means time for you and time for business, time for family, time for friends, and especially time for sleeping so that you can wake up in the morning really refreshed. So my time is running out. It's now half past, so I'm gonna be wrapping it up. But those of you who have joined me, I'm really happy that you were here. Those of you who watch the replay, even better, obviously. Take the tools that I've shared with you and put them into your life, because they will change the way that you can succeed in life. It will change the way that you sleep, and it will help you to wake up rested, recharged, awake, switched on, and truly be able to live. Those little moments, those little tools, techniques will really help you to take not just your business, but yourself to a new level, yourself to a new level of success and get you towards your goal. And that starts with looking after yourself first. So thank you so much for your time. Those of you watching the replay, you can still ask me questions. I'm in the group, so you can let me know if you get any specific question about sleep. But those of you who would like to connect with me and haven't yet, the links will be in the comments as well. But it's the sleepdeepmethod.com, which is the website. On the website, you can find a series of 5 videos that can really help you to change your sleep. It talks about 5 different areas of our life, and I am launching some new things. So as you get onto my newsletter list, you will be receiving all those different things that I'm creating, which is really exciting. It's a very exciting time for the Sleep Deep Method. But connect with me, ask me questions. The Facebook page link is going to be below as well. But again, it's the Sleep Deep Method on Facebook as well. So thank you very much for your time, for engaging, for being part of this. Thank you for the opportunity for me to be able to be here. Obviously, Christine has given me the opportunity to talk to you guys. And ask me any questions that you have, and let me see how I can help you to take your life to a whole new level. So have a great day, or those of you who are in the UK, an afternoon, and I'll see you in the group. Bye bye.